Hey guys, it's Bree. So as you can see, I'm in a different spot today. I'm actually in my new flat. It's kind of echoing in here because I don't have any furniture yet apart from this green chair which I brought with me today. My dining room table and chairs I'm currently waiting for to arrive now. It's supposed to arrive between 2 and 6, and of course it's 4 o'clock and they still haven't come. And then tomorrow I should get my Wi-Fi port, thank God. And then the day after I should get my bed, my mattress and my sofa, and I can't move in until they get here. So on Thursday, but I'm here for the moment just putting up things, sorting out decorations, the kitchen and stuff. I will do a vlog on my vlog channel on my first night and stuff, and maybe an update about today, I'm not quite sure yet. Anyway, today's video is going to be on discussing periods with your daughter and how to have open discussions and how to allow her to accept her body, because society really does put this whole social stigma on periods and how it's a taboo and all that kind of stuff, and it's just not good. And I've always managed to avoid that to a certain extent, but in some ways I didn't, and I'll explain why. When I first got my period, I was 14, so it's a little bit older than the average. The average age to get a period is 11 to 12, but actually it's completely normal to get it from any time between 8 and 18. It just depends on your body type, and also a little bit sometimes on your family history. I got my period when I was 14 and my mum got hers when she was 14, so sometimes you'll get your period around the same time as your mum does, but it doesn't always apply. So it's whenever your body's ready, and that's the most important thing to tell your daughter if you're discussing this with her. My thing about when I got my period when I was 14, I was literally going out the door on a camping trip, and I remember when I got it that I'd seen all the other girls at school being really secretive about their periods and not really talking about when they had them and like whispering and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I have to try and hide my period. So I was determined on this camping trip that I was going to cope with my first period and nobody would know I had it, like it was a secret thing. Actually, my mum had told my godmother, who I was camping with, that I'd started my period. I told my mum the minute I got it because I was just so thrilled. I was like, yes, my period is here. Everyone else had theirs at school, it seemed, and I didn't. So finally I did, and so I was really happy about it. But I did still try to hide it, and I really wish I hadn't. Of course, now I'm like, nah, period. I even post a vlog every month on my channel when I have my period. It's hardly something I keep secret, but it's definitely something I did when I started with. So to try and discourage that and to try and encourage openness and honest talks between the two of you, here are some of my tips, I guess you could say, for how to do it. So my number one thing would be, if you have a young child, a young girl particularly, and boys, this is a good idea to put the boys as well, because then they'll always know about it too. Have an open discussion with both genders. It's important that the boys know about a period as much as the girls do. The thing with introducing it to girls, I think, is the best way that I found, well, I guess I can't say the best way I found. The way I found out about it was actually I never found out about it as such. I never had to sit down and a talk about it. I pretty much always knew from the time I can think back to, because of that wonderful habit that some children have of going into the bathroom when their parents are on the toilet. I did this with my mum all the time. In fact, I probably still do sometimes when I'm at the house. But my family's just never been very closed about this stuff, which is probably a good thing. Anyway, I used to go into the bathroom with my mum when she was on the toilet, and I'd see her taking her tampon out and changing it. And of course I asked questions, what's that? And she would give me the honest answer and explain in very basic terms what a period was, to the fact that because she was a girl and I was a girl, it was something that happened to women and girls, and that it happened when you get older, when you become a young teenager. Maybe you could say about the age between 8 and 18, it can happen. And you know, I can't remember exactly what she did, but she explained it to me in basic terms, so I knew when I was older I was getting a period, and therefore it was never a complete shock or a surprise when I got it. Like, some people have no idea what a period is, and their first one they get is absolutely terrifying because they've got no idea what's going on, and you really want to avoid that. So I think whether they're girls or boys asking, if they see you changing a tampon, just tell them it's a period and give the basics of it. Happens every month when you're older, and mummy has to change a tampon every time, and it lasts for a few days, and then it goes away for a few weeks. Just something along those lines. They probably won't even remember it at this age, but subconsciously it clicks in their brain and they'll remember later on, as they're growing up, they'll probably still walk into the toilets as well, and they'll see you changing it and they'll know what it is, and they'll understand that it's going to happen to them when they're older. When they're old enough to actually start asking more questions about periods, such as why does it happen, what is it, how do I cope with it, that kind of thing, then I would really suggest that you sit them down one time. I'd say around the age of 7 or 8, or if they're younger and you think they could take it on, then that would be fine as well. I don't think the age really matters for this point, just as long as you as a parent feel that they are mature enough and ready to understand the conversation. You sit them down and go, okay, this is a period, this is what happens, so the whole eggs releasing from the uterus. Probably buy a book. A book would be a good idea. I had one, something about growing up, just puberty in general, how girls' boobs grow, get pubic hair and all that kind of stuff. Obviously I'm going to focus on this video on female puberty, but you can obviously need to do that with the boys too. Just buy a book that describes everything that's happening to them, so they know what's going to happen, they know it's going to be completely normal, and it will also go over the menstrual cycle and what happens, you know, in preparation for a baby, and also it might go into a little bit of detail about how babies are conceived. I think the book I had was Where Do Babies Come From, and it was actually really good. It went over the whole egg and sperm and uterus, periods, all that kind of stuff, and the emotional things that can happen to girls. It's a very good book. I would definitely recommend it. I think I was 9 when I got that one. But you can read it to your girl and say to them, you know what, if you have any questions, you can always ask mummy, because mummy has a period, and, or mum, mama, whatever you call them. I call my mama. And just, yeah, encourage an open dialogue. It's always the best way, because when we get our periods, there can sometimes be things that go a little bit wrong. Blood can be a little bit clotty, which is normal, but if you haven't seen it before, you might be a bit worried. Often period blood isn't bright red, it can be slightly brown, and that could be a bit worrying to a girl. They think their blood's supposed to be bright red. You just say to them, if you have any questions, ask me and I'll be happy to answer them, because it's completely normal, it's a natural thing that happens, you have to be ashamed of it or anything like that. Just open discussion really is what makes the difference. And my final tip would be, of course, to show the girls all the options they have. I wish somebody had done this with me, and this is the one thing I didn't get. I had a pretty good talk at school about periods in terms of what it was and how it happened and all that, and almost certainly they will get that if they go to a mainstream school. But if you just want to kind of encourage a little bit more, because the school I went to particularly that told me about periods and stuff didn't go over the reusable menstrual products. So going over, for example, the fact that there are disposable pads that have chemicals in them that are from lots of very popular brands, such as Always. If you're in the US, Kotex, we don't have it in the UK. And Carefree, I think they're the main ones in the UK now. Then you can talk about tampons, and then you can go into the chemical-free disposables that are by Naturcare and Organics, I think it's called Organics, and they don't contain the chemicals and they're biodegradable, but they can still be used once and thrown away. And then go into the reusable menstrual products, such as reusable sea sponge tampons, menstrual cups, and also reusable cloth pads. So they can see all the options, and I think the best thing to do is to make them up a little box and maybe have a bit of chocolate in there, because everyone loves chocolate on their period, or whatever treat they particularly like. Have maybe 2 cloth pads, a packet of disposable pads in a kind of teen size, maybe 2 sizes if you think they're going to prefer the disposables, a couple of tampons, maybe even a small classic Miluna is a good cup, I think, for starting out with. Especially when you start your period. It can depend on what age they feel ready. To be honest, I know 11-year-olds who use menstrual cups and they're perfectly fine with it. If you have a very mature child, you might feel okay giving them a menstrual cup. If not, then you can always leave that out and just give them pads. But a little kit with several different options in it, and also maybe a little heat pack and something nice for them, so it's not a scary thing. It's like when you get your period, you get this special gift box. I think that's always a nice thing to have, and I wish I'd got one of these. My best friend got one and I was very jealous of her. I hope that helped you if you are a mother and you're looking for ways to encourage open discussions with your children, or if you're just in general wondering how it would be a good idea to introduce menstruation to your girls. And in fact, your family, I do want to stress particularly that it is very important that the boys also know about periods. If they know about it from a younger age and they've always grown up with it, they at a young age are much more impressionable, so you can very quickly get into them then. Oh, you know, it's a period, you know, mummies get these and it's completely normal, and when your sister's older she'll get it too, it's something that just happens to women. Then they know, okay, that's normal, and they don't see it as like this, I don't know, the social taboo that's impressed upon girls. I think it's less on guys. I don't know why as girls we try to hide our periods so much. Now I just walk into a bathroom with a pad in my hand and I don't even care. But it's definitely something that we face as a society, social taboo. So just trying to break it from the younger the age, the easier it is to break that social stigma. Just wanted to say that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you guys. Please subscribe. Don't forget I sell cloth pads and menstrual cups and other accessories on my website down below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you later. Bye.